All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Brother Eric, Local 308, Union Rep, Executive Board. They didn't unelect me, y'all. They didn't have their way. The CTA bosses are upset. So we're going to have to make them a little more upset because they treat us like crap. We're not going to take this anymore, right?
Right.
Good afternoon, Chicago. Good afternoon, Chicago. My name is Brother Eric. I'm a Local 308 Union Rep. Here I work for CTA workers. I speak for those who are afraid to speak for themselves. That's my job as a union rep. I was elected by my co-workers who repair and clean these filthy, nasty, decrepit trains. These trains are filthy and nasty. And the CTA mismanagement doesn't give a damn if these diseases are a #1 vector for the transmission of communicable diseases. Me and my co-workers work real hard to keep these trains clean. But the CTA mismanagement is cheap. And all they want to do is put the bare minimum of the workers to clean and maintain these trains. Those who operate the trains, they work them to death. Literally. They work when they're sick, they work when they're injured. When they report defects on the train, when they report problems on the train, the management, the mismanagement says, just move the train, don't cause any more delays. But what about the safety of the riders? Don't worry about that. Are you arguing with me? I'm going to write you up for insubordination. This is the kind of crap that we have to deal with. Even today, and every day that I have to help my poor co-workers with these stupid, trifling write-ups, the #1 problem that they get written up for, what do you think it is? I'll give you a guess. We'll play a guessing game. What's the #1 reason why my co-workers get written up at the CTA? What do you think? Go ahead, take a guess.
For being sick.
Oh, for being sick. That's right. Imagine that. We get, at the CTA, we get written up, threatened with termination, because we get sick. Me and most of my co-workers right here at the CTA who get written up or fired, it's because they get sick. Even if they get FMLA, even if they get a doctor note, and another doctor note, and a doctor note for the doctor note, they say, yeah, you've been excessively absent at the, we need you to be here. It's a 24-hour operation, 7 days a week. Yeah, but what if I'm sick? It doesn't matter. But what if I die? We're going to write you up anyway. Isn't that sickening to you? Doesn't that make you sick? Doesn't that make you sick that they're always punishing us because we get sick? We have no sick days. We have no sick days at the Chicago Transit Authority. We have no sick days. How in the world can you run the second or third, now it's going down, the second or third public transportation agency in the whole freaking country? Public. And we have no goddamn sick days. What kind of barbaric, savage, disgusting, inhuman in the city of Chicago, we have an ordinance that mandates that we get paid sick leave, but we don't get it. Right now, as I speak, there is an Illinois state law that says Chicago Transit, that says all workers should get sick leave. We don't get any kind of sick leave. What's up, brother? We get nothing. Everybody should get sick leave. That's the law. It's the law. It is state law to get sick days where you work. Why is it not the policy at the Chicago Transit Authority? What's up, brother? Hey, CTA workers, we move. Thank you. Man, we got people living on our trains, poor, desperate people. We're group home counselors on these trains, nurses, security guards. Why is it that we have all these homeless people living on our trains? Is it that they're lazy? Is it that they're inferior? No, it's because they have no opportunities out here. You got to work 3 and 4 part-time jobs just to get by. And guess what? You don't have any sick days. Yeah, everybody's struggling. The riders are struggling. The CPA workers are struggling. All of us. When are we, as a city, going to stand up? When are we going to stand up in this city and demand that we have housing for all, health care for all, education for all, full-time jobs with a pension for all? Oh no, we can't do that. Why? Think about it. What are we funding right now? Endless wars. Endless wars. Prisons and jails. Lock them up, lock them up. Ridiculous. Punish, punish, punish. And that's what they do at the Chicago Transit Authority to the workers. They punish us. Always punishing. Punish, punish, punish. They call it corrective action. Let me tell you something. You can't correct nothing if you're beating up somebody, writing them up when they get sick. We got so many sick people in this world, need all kind of health care for their minds and their bodies. But they got nothing. So they turn to drugs and alcohol. And then where do they end up? They end up on our buses and our trains. And what do the poor operators have to do? They got no choice. They got to call the police. What are the police going to do? They're going to have to maybe write a ticket. What's the ticket going to do for a man or a woman who doesn't have a home and doesn't have a job? It ain't going to do nothing. Well, then lock them up. Okay. And then what do we do with them? Lock them up some more. Well, eventually you got to let them out. So after you let them out of jail, what's going to happen next? Good morning, Mr. Manager. Trying to tell manager, CTA mismanagement don't like when workers speak up. They don't like it. They call the cops. Ridiculous. But you say these people, you lock them up and you let them out of jail. Now they got a record and they can't get a job. Where do you send them? They send them, where do they send these people? They send them to the Chicago Transit Authority Second Chance Program. And what happens to these poor people in the Second Chance Program at the Chicago Transit Authority? The CTA mismanagement treats them like inferior. I'll give you an example. If I'm late 8 times in 1 year at the CTA, they can fire me. If the ex-felons in the Second Chance Program them are late 3 times, they get fired. What kind of crap is that? You got workers that are full-time and part-time temporary, full-time temporary, flagmen, whatnot, and they can get 8 absenteeism marks, but the second chance people, the ex-felons, they can only get 3. That ain't a second chance program. That's a second class program. That's slavery. And that's what they promote at the Chicago Transit Authority. Slavery. And they got a lot of nerve. Right now, celebrating our wonderful black ancestors that gave their lives. Yet they are punishing us, a majority black and Latino workforce, treating us like inferiors. Why? Why don't we deserve sick days at the CTA? It's because we're majority black and Latino. That's why. And nobody wants to say it, but I'll say it. I know I'm a union rep, and I defend these people. These people pay me out of their dues to defend them. I wear this uniform out of my pride in service to the great people of this great city. What's up, brother? And we, the CTA workers, take pride in our work. We deserve respect. We deserve dignity. We don't deserve to be punished and harassed. Even when we get FMLA, they harass us. They mock us. And I sit there and look at these grimy, slimy, greedy monsters who call themselves our boss. They ain't nothing. They ain't nothing without us. CPA mismanagement, you can't run the CPA without the CPA workers. Without the CPA workers, not a damn bus, train will move 1 inch. The people know it. The people are clamoring because the service sucks. CTA service sucks. You want to know why CTA service sucks? Because the management sucks. They treat the workers like dirt. I'm not your average union rep at the CTA. I speak for the workers who are afraid to speak for themselves. I speak to inspire them to speak up, exercise their First Amendment rights. They elected me in the Amalgamated Transit Union Local 308 to defend them. And the mismanagement is so upset that I speak up for them, that they have collaborated and conspired with certain union officials to remove me from office. But they failed because the members stood up and said, you're not going to unelect this boogeyman. We deserve respect. We deserve sick days at the CTA. We deserve full-time jobs for all. We deserve 2-person crews. We need tools that work, equipment that works. Right now, my coworkers are getting hurt in the shops, falling in these pits, falling off the ladders, all because the cheap CTA mismanagement doesn't want to provide a wide walkway so that we don't slip and break our neck. What kind of employer would be so cruel? What is wrong with them? We don't even have a contract. Believe that, we don't even have a contract right now at the CTA. Pipe fitters don't have a contract. Carpenters don't have a contract. CTA bus, rail workers don't have a contract. What the hell is that?
Almost like we don't have a union.
Some say we don't even have a union. And in some ways we don't. But it's changing right now. CTA workers are standing up, speaking up. How you doing, sir?
What is this? This is a little protest. A protest about the terrible working conditions.
I know.
Yeah.
Even the bus, there are a lot of things to say about this bus.
Yeah.
I experienced that a lot of times.
Yeah, a lot of people are suffering out here.
Yeah, even the passengers, not only the...
Yeah, the passengers too, the workers. Everyone's being thrown out in the street, and then they come on the buses and trains, they have nowhere to live, and they have nothing to lose. Yeah.
I know, the management, even the government, the mayor, whatever that, you know.
Yeah, they're all busy. Yeah, they're all busy with other stuff.
Yeah, from coming to the borders and everything's crazy.
Oh, you're talking about the refugees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is crazy now.
Yeah, well, you know, those people come from countries that our country have destroyed.
Yeah, you're
So,
right.
you know, their economies are destroyed because they're socialists.
Yes,
they say they're socialists, so
Take
they
it
destroy it, and then they come here and they say, hey, what they doing here?
Yeah.
Well, what? Why'd you destroy the government?
The taxpayers are the ones who are paying it.
Yeah, we're paying for wars and prisons.
Yeah, everything is
crazy.
paying.
Yeah.
Place now. It's not like before. When I came in 1982, it's very different. Very different. Ruining the country.
Worse. It's more wars. Spending more and more money on wars.
Yeah.
And we're dying in our own country, right?
Yeah. And we don't know because it will be cost also World War III. We don't know nothing yet.
Yeah. It's sad. Very sad.
Very sad.
Yeah.
That's really right.
Thank you.
Doing good talking with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm just about done here. I know that. How you doing, sir? But I want to let you know that CTA workers, we care about you riders. We care about you when you ride to these trains and buses. They're filthy and nasty and late. But I want to let you know it's not because of us. It's not because of us. We're doing our best. But you got to understand that CTA mismanagement has us working while we're sick and injured. And they'll punish us if we call off work. And then they'll call and catch themselves doing us some favors. Yeah, thank you. But we do a lot of favors too. And what do we get in return? We get a sandwich, a little bag of popcorn, a letter from Mr. 33%, Dorville Carter, says, I appreciate you. Well, if you appreciate us, pay us. We can hardly keep up with this inflation. We're not keeping up, frankly.
Right.
We got all these pensioners at the CTA, retired people, retired from the CTA that gave their lives in service to the city and the people. Bodies broken down. They haven't gotten a raise in decades. Barely able to make it, even with this retiree health care trust. Those of us who are working right now at the CTA, we're wondering if we're even going to get that pension. It's barely 60% funded. Why? Oh, we can't afford it, hey, brother. All right. Why can't we afford it? What's wrong? Where's the money? Who's taking the money? Going to the billionaire bloodsuckers of the poor and their trillion-dollar war machine. Ukraine, Israel, Yemen, Korea. Everywhere there's a war. Got these young men securing oil fields and gas fields. For what? For what? We're dying in this city. Homelessness. I've got homeless co-workers at the CTA. Can you believe that? Homeless CTA workers. I know you're looking at me, you're crazy. A homeless CTA worker? Impossible. No. Peace, brother. I bow to you. We got homelessness out here. We got starvation. I had to give some money to a co-worker who couldn't pay some groceries. This is a CTA worker. 10 years in a poverty-time, part-time job. Applying for full-time jobs for years. Not getting it. Hey, you didn't meet the qualifications. I worked here for 10 years. What you mean I'm not qualified for the job? What kind of madness is this? Second chance program. Second class program. Making slaves. They got people who are ex-felons doing full-time work at part-time pay. 40 hours a week. No dental. If their mama dies or their child dies, they don't even have funeral privileges to take off. They get written up. Imagine if you fall asleep, you're on the midnight shift. You know what happens on the midnight, y'all. The body kicks in and your eyes kind of droop. These second chance workers, man, if they fall asleep one time, they get fired. One time. One time. What kind of second chance program is that? And they call them apprentices. They ain't apprentices because there's no journey for them. No journey for a path to a craftsman. But what we do when we work on these trains, even the sweepers that clean the trains, and the janitors that sweep the stations, it's a craft. It's hard work. Why aren't we paid for it? You a second chance program, you should get that full-time job. You're doing 40 hours. We got customer assistants over here in these stations working 40 hours. No dental. They get a vacation. You know what the vacation is at the CTA for part-time workers? It's called an unpaid vacation. 2 weeks unpaid vacation. That sounds like a layoff to me. There ain't no vacation. Cheap CTA mismanagement with an unpaid vacation. God damn. Well, I'm about to wrap it up. So on behalf of those co-workers that elected me to represent them and speak for them, I thank you for listening. I thank you for tolerating my annoying voice. I want to let you know we care about y'all, and we care about our jobs and our families and our communities. We're going to keep speaking up and rising up. Peace.